We brought measuring tape with us to one of the polling locations to see how far away these political signs are from the curb. It measures out to about 11 feet. Now we want to show you the path. We're walking the path that leads up to where these National Guard members are. And I mean, there's bottles of water, there's soda cans that were left behind. Typically this ambulance would be stocked with saline packages. Due to the shortage, they have to use a substitute formula. The problem is this can't be administered to all patients. Whenever we sit inside of this, we can feel the teeter-tottering back and forth. That's how strong the winds are out here, and that's why DPS said once those wind speeds hit 45 miles an hour, we are shutting down the causeway. We went from agents searching inside one of the homes here on the 2000 block of Baylor Avenue to them loading a group that I'm told is about 60 to 70 undocumented immigrants. But what made this business an easy target was proximity. Once inside, the robber didn't have to go far to gain access to the cash register. It's immediately to your left once you step inside. Donations, including one family who came and brought us their piggy bank. And this is the kind of spirit that we're looking for. We are looking for families to bring us their change, their cash, or make monetary donations online. I mean, you've seen the storms and we've shown you the aftermath. People that tried getting through this strip of road ended up having to abandon their cars. We have first responders that are driving through this road trying to get to folks. One of them saw our cameras and said, "No crucen, hay cámaras," in Spanish, which basically means don't cross, there are cameras. And you can see just ahead, there's two law enforcement officials on both sides as a warning for drivers to slow down, because right around here is where that hump in the road is. We're gonna go over it right about now.
Channel 5's Cruz visited the state prison facility where inmates are learning skills to be work ready. She's live in Edinburgh. Catalina.
Yeah, there are a little over 1,000 inmates here at the Lopez units. That's 1,000 inmates that once they walk out through these doors, they have a criminal record that becomes an obstacle once they try to join the workforce. But a new partnership between Wyndham School District and Workforce Solutions hopes to change that.
Okay, it's our 5-star steak and lobster meal. We had squash, Brussels sprouts, grape jelly, pork ribeye, lobster tail.
Careful technique, refined taste buds, and an eye for presentation. The cooks in this kitchen are whipping up original creations. Did you catch that? With the kitchen commotion, you may have missed a few details. The tattoos or this lock preventing a kitchen knife from making it far. This isn't your typical restaurant cooking grounds.
I used to sell drugs, and then that started to the partying, going out late at night, wrong choices.
The addiction kicked in, not only for the drugs, but for the money. Cesar Gutierrez says greed got the best of him.
Well, you kind of seem invincible at the moment, like if nothing will ever happen, you won't get caught. But eventually it'll catch up to you.
It did for Gutierrez and the rest of the men here.
Oh, no, we have a lot of personalities here.
Hot door.
In a room full of students, Daniel Cantu learns the biggest lessons. The majority of the offenders are serving time anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. The top crimes? DWIs, theft by check, and identity theft. Over 50% of the inmates are from the Valley.
Even if they come in for the first time, we don't want them back. Okay.
Gutierrez wants his 4 children to learn from his life experience.
It's not worth it. You're ruining your life and also the lives of others.
He's learning skills beyond what's served on the daily menu to guarantee a toque blanche when he leaves here.
I want to get started as a line cook and then work my way up to possibly a chef.
Others in the room will also prepare their resume and skill set for a new life path.
Once they leave here out of the culinary arts program, they are work ready.
Hot pan.
There's a two-way street they have to choose between once they leave these gates. It's up to them to follow the path that won't lead them back here. First the shoe, and then the bone. These are 2 key elements that launched an investigation the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office now has to dig through.
A woman's shoe cannot be flushed down a toilet and end up in a septic tank. So that was suspicious in nature to begin with. How did the shoe end up in the septic tank?
The homeowner called police after the discovery. Crime scene investigators measured and photographed the bone. A pathologist confirmed it was a human femur. On Thursday, Hidalgo County Precinct 1 crews worked out a plan of action to avoid tampering with the evidence inside.
We're gonna have to do scout around all the way around and then lift up. And we're gonna have to set it on the low boy and transport it to Edinburgh.
Plans changed come nighttime.
We determined that it was a 500-gallon septic tank. If we dug it up, it would probably, it might crack, and there was a possibility that we would lose the evidence.
500 gallons, that's the size of all these septic tanks, including the one I'm in. Investigators will have to search through every single bit of it to avoid missing any evidence. The first 100 gallons, investigators were already piecing the body back together.
We have recovered so far various ribs. We've got the skull. The skull does have the teeth intact.
A next-door neighbor says she got chills after realizing a crime took place a few feet away from her childhood home.
My kids stay with my mom, so to get here and see police, well, yeah, it frightens me a little bit, like what happened, what's going on.
Sheriff Guerra says the size of the skull and shoe leads investigators to believe the victim is a woman. With limited information, they are unsure how long the body was inside the septic tank. A pathologist is working to determine a cause of death. We're told DNA from teeth will be used to hopefully identify the body.